Welcome back to the Brandon K Show. I am your host, as always, Brandon K, and this is a real show. I can't believe it. But today, the topic is desire to inspire. I feel like that's my motto for the show. I feel like I've had some inspirational shows where all I'm trying to do is inspire people towards something. I'm here with my cousin, Patrick K.
Great to be here, Brandon. Okay. I can confirm this is a real show. This is a real studio. This is an amazing setup. Shout out to Solomon here at podcast place. Gotta check
Thank
it
you.
out.
Thank you.
And so on the topic of desire to inspire, Patrick's one of the most inspirational guys I know. He's always been inspiring me my whole life. We'll get into why and how here in this episode. But first, I want to say that Brandon K Show is brought to you by Giftiply charity wrapping paper.
Look at that paper. Flat packed, convenient, supporting 8 different nonprofits. Yeah, sorry, I'll leave it to you.
Eco-friendly, supporting 8 different nonprofits. Name the nonprofits we got.
Yeah, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. We have they just changed their name. Yeah, Be the Match, formerly. They're our new name.
Bone Marrow
Yes.
Foundation.
Yeah, it's the National Bone Marrow Registry, Best Friends Animal Society. We have the Wildlife Conservation Network. We have Give Kids the World. We have Alex's Lemonade Stand for childhood cancer. We have Stand for the Silent, which is bullying prevention. And they're like 8 different babies. So sometimes I usually leave off 1 or 2, but really great nonprofits. Yeah, Stand for the Silent, bullying prevention. Yeah. And we have greeting cards as well. And really, we're actually getting into retail stores right now. So exciting stuff. And yeah, we're happy to support the Brandon K Show, what you're doing here.
Yeah, we had you on before on the charity chat with your co-founder, Patrick Feeney.
Yeah, great episode. I mean, I think the quality wasn't great for my video, but I'm in studio now, so there's no excuses on quality of video, which is great.
We're happy to have you in the studio. And yeah, just the idea of you started your own company, Giftiply charity wrapping paper, and you incorporated helping other people into it. So obviously that's inspirational. You're trying to help other people. And I'm like so happy to have it as my sponsor here on the Brandon K Show.
I appreciate that. And this is something interesting when it comes to what you're going to work for, what you're doing. Everyone has battles, whether you're working at Target, whether you're working at Disneyland, whether you're working at Starbucks. Every day you're fighting for something that you believe in. And every day when Pat and I work and we collaborate, we're pushing really hard to run a business that's raising money for nonprofits. And so that hopefully is inspirational, and it gives you something to like. It's not just us; it's bigger than us, which is really cool.
Yeah, and before you were, had Give Kids the World as one of the people on your wrapping paper, you were what do you call it? Volunteering there.
Yeah, volunteering
for
there.
Years doing that, hosting. What were you hosting?
Yeah, so I was hosting what was called Village Idol, so Give Kids the World Village. And just a quick background to the 10-second version. This is when kids have a life-threatening illness. They contact a wish-granting agency, nonprofit. Like the biggest one is Make-A-Wish. And if they say they want to go to Disney, they want to meet Mickey Mouse, they want to go to Universal and hang out with Shrek, they all get sent to Give Kids the World. And it's called the Storybook Village. Everything's covered, their transportation, their food. And it's a really, really great cause. And coming from the theme park design world, just a perfect fit of the change and the memories that we're able to create. So while what we're doing, or what I've done in my past, in the past and currently do with just theme park design, everyone may remember their first time going to Disneyland or going to a theme park, and the bonds and the sharing of memories that you have. And I know we're going to talk maybe a little bit about that later. So, it's great.
For not only did you say, okay, I want to make this wrapping paper, and I want to, you donated your time, but then to make this wrapping paper and give 33% of the proceeds to charity. I feel like you had something inside you that's like, I want to inspire people to help other people.
Yeah, it's a good point. What we see often, and you all probably have seen, is you go and you buy a product and maybe it says, hey, this goes to that, and it's usually like 1% or 2%,
Mhm.
and proceeds is actually an interesting word. It's our purchase price. So if you pay $10 or $12, $4 is going to the nonprofit.
Right.
And a lot of companies out there do it on the backside. They say, oh, 10% of our profits are going to charity, and I'll encourage that for any business that wants to do that as part of their ethics. We wanted to bake it in because I think that there needs to be a revolution of consumer choices where you can make a decision and inspire people and spread the word of a nonprofit. And with wrapping paper and wrapping paper type giving products, you can spread the message about a nonprofit when you give it to somebody, and you're also able to have it impact that nonprofit in a positive way. So there's a lot of good elements there that hopefully inspire, and apparently it's doing for you, which is good.
Yeah, no, I just feel like if I can give anything to some charity, like if somebody gives $10 to the
Yeah.
charity, it's like good for us, you know.
Well, I'm a sucker. I don't wherever it is I'm at where they're like, "Would you like to donate?" Like like even McDonald's, like anywhere, they're like, "Hey, do you want to round up?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." Like 70 cents, a dollar, $3. Like I can't hit no on that keypad, and we're trying to bake it into the product, um, which is great.
But more so with a desire to inspire, it's
Yeah.
about just like getting the concept out there of like these are the charities that you could be donating to
Exactly, and it is easy to donate on our website, so there's great elements to that as well. Um,
because they're good. They're good.
yeah, they're all $4 charities. Like we do a screening process and all that, which is great. All very reputable, which is
Yeah.
great.
And then like you're very involved in the theme park industry. You worked at Disneyland for years,
Yeah.
and you were inspired as a kid through Disney to want to work in the theme park industry.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, and you touched on this over the years of definitive purpose. Yeah, I know
Definitive
you're probably going to
purpose.
talk about that. Uh,
Definitive purpose is like your life calling.
yeah,
So Patrick is somebody I've known in my life who has a life calling his whole life. He's like, I want to design theme park attractions. I want to design theme park attractions since he was a little boy. And
yeah,
then it's like, but we can talk about it about why.
yeah. When I was like childhood trauma, but when we were kids growing up, we used to go to Disneyland. We grew up very close to here in Orange County, and I just loved, and I think it's a bit more than that. I just loved how it brought our family together. I loved the environments. I loved the experience, and just jumping into a movie, essentially what we were doing with theme park design, and it just hit me. And you know, like you said, at a very young age, I said, "Hey, everyone was like, oh, maybe I want to be a fireman. I want to be an architect," and I'm like, "I want to be a theme park designer." And then everyone's like, "What are you talking about? Like that's not a real thing." And I said, "No, no, no, it's real."
It's real.
And this is going to be a callback. In the 90s on the Disney Channel, they used to play these old shows with like Walt Disney walking around, going to what's now known as Walt Disney Imagineering. And I would just see these people building models and designing. I said, I want to do whatever they're doing. And I followed the steps to do that for theme park design, which is great. And I could, however
So
you want to talk about
we
it.
could say that like Walt Disney was an inspiration to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Walt Disney. I mean, I wrote like a high school paper on Walt Disney. Like I had a lot of Walt Disney threaded in on that, and I think I don't when you look at like the iconic people of entertainment who made such a big impact on entertainment, and meaning film, animation, theme park, and basically inventing the theme park industry.
Yeah. I mean, he was insane. He television, movies, yeah, cartoons. I mean, I don't know if he invented cartoons, but he was a major pioneer of animation, right?
Yeah, I mean, huge. I mean, the first sound cartoon was Steamboat Willie. Huge special effects that they were doing, evolutions of that, and then there wasn't an animated feature length film. It was Snow White.
I gotta say, he's
That
an
did.
inspiration to
Oh,
me.
we're looking
Like
at Walt Disney up
when
there.
you
Okay,
when you
I'm
look
like, what are
at
we looking at? There we go.
when
There's
you
the
look
camera.
at people in life who are inspirations to the world. I mean, Walt Disney has to, I mean, as create in the creative field and the positive field, and bringing families together. You gotta say Walt Disney's way up there.
Yeah, and just and of their time, and he's not a saint. He
Right.
was there's also other elements to Walt Disney that some may look at and say,
Just
we're
like
not great.
just
Yeah.
like everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like
We do
everybody.
need. I'm very I'm very in tune with, you know,
How people,
inclusion and diversity, but
yeah,
I also think we need to judge people on their era. No, but I mean, not to get totally sidetracked,
you know,
but
and
I'm just saying that the creative elements and what he did for the industry,
yeah,
you know, creating industries essentially was
yeah,
very, very inspirational. And you know, the funny thing about theme parks is people don't even think that they're designed; like they're just there. But no, there's teams, there's hundreds and thousands or
somebody had
thousands
to
of people.
create that in their mind. I mean, he had to
Yeah.
create the idea of a theme park in his mind and a ride and a dark ride, and he had to.
Yeah, you know, and well, I mean, we can do like a whole talk about this. I mean, there is history with like with Piers and other places he went for inspiration in
Yeah,
Europe, like
yeah,
Tivoli Gardens and Efteling. But he invented the modern theme park
yeah.
and tried to bring a place of safety and comfort to what was something that was maybe considered seedy, going to a seaside carnival, and things like that.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
So then when you started to have some success in the theme park industry, then you used your platform to create a YouTube channel called
yeah,
TETV, Themed Entertainment Television, and even mentoring people one on one
yeah.
on how to get into the industry, which is like you saw how difficult it was for you to get into the industry, and then now you work hand in hand trying to get people into the industry that like you said, when you were a kid, people were like, that's not even a real job.
Yeah, well, and it goes even further. So I went to, I mean, you know, we went to art center for high school, and we were in a program where we were learning things, and I just learned at a very young age that like I wasn't a traditional designer, like drawing. I couldn't really draw, but I could create, I could manifest, I could write, and
Mhm.
I found out later that writing is really what I should be doing to create stories and all that. And long and short of it is I went to college and I went for interior architecture, but I could not sit at a table and draft for 10 hours. I couldn't draw straight lines.
Yeah.
And
How long you try to stick with that? Like a couple months or years?
no, it was the end of, I think it was the end of my second semester. The teacher said, "Hey, this really isn't for you." And I had to like give up, and I thought I had to give up on everything. I was working at
Were
Disneyland at the
you
time,
were you pretty bummed out?
totally bummed
Yeah,
out.
like just defeated at that moment.
Completely defeated. And you know, I'd worked at a water park when I was in high school and all that. Worked at Disneyland, and I said, okay, I'm gonna set my dream aside, and I'm going to work at Disneyland as an operations manager.
Mm.
And then just kind of flashing forward a lot. I mean, a lot of people don't know my story.
So like,
Yeah,
so you felt like you couldn't do like a creative job in at Disneyland, but you still wanted to work at Disneyland.
still wanted to work at
I
Disney.
mean, I
Well,
don't think
yeah,
that I don't think you even gave up on your dream. You were just like, I'm
no, I
gonna
did.
kind of
I
redirect.
totally gave up on it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so unattainable, and knowing what I know now about how many different ways there is to be involved, it wasn't even worth giving up on. And then I'll just do a quick story.
Yeah.
What happened is that I was working in operations. I switched majors. I was going to school at Chapman University for international business, and I'd given up on being an Imagineer or a theme park designer. And then I ended up getting on the test and adjust crew for the Finding Nemo submarine voyage in 2007, which is where you're driving around the Imagineers while they're programming scenes. And I just said, I need to do what they're doing. And then I started meeting people like Michael Libby, who was about to go to an internship for Walt Disney Imagineering for show writing. And I'm like, oh, wait, like there's a lot of roles you can do. And that's when we took the screenwriting classes.
Yeah.
And then going to your original point, graduated in 2009, and the entire economy collapsed. So there were no jobs for me whatsoever.
Right.
And then I mean, basically took a break. I volunteered, tried to get roles and positions. But that idea of like your entire life working towards a goal for basically 20 years or 15 years,
Mhm.
and then not having that, that was devastating to me.
Yeah.
And that same thing happened in 2020 with all these college students that were trying to get jobs in our industry in the theme park design world. And that was the inception of the YouTube channel, which became Themed Experience Television.
Which was because like all the theme parks were some of them were entirely shut
Oh, everything
down,
was shut
creative
down.
teams
Yeah.
were shut down, and
hmm
then jobs were, I'm sure, much less available. So then and you had lots of time on your hands, if you were out of work at the time.
Yeah, so we basically we created a whole internship program, and at a point we had over 70 people volunteering for the
I got
program.
I
Yeah.
gotta say also, like, Patrick during those times, well, he had a podcast. He had the What I Would Tell Myself 20, What I Would Tell My 22-year-old self.
Preview. That was a few years
Yeah,
ago.
podcast, which inspired me to make my podcast all day, all night. And then you had the Yappy Hour
Yeah, Yappy Hour. Yeah.
during COVID with Brian and Kia, and and that inspired what I'm doing here. So like it's like
Right.
you
Yeah.
you got in front of the StreamYard, you figured out how to use all the technology,
Yeah.
and you were like, I'm gonna be a podcast. Well, your Yappy Hour, which was just you and a friend and your wife making content just
Yeah.
for fun, that turned into, okay, I'm gonna launch my own channel.
Well, yeah, I'll tell that story if I may. The happy hour was funny. Like we did it on our phone, like our FaceTime. Like we
Mhm.
recorded a FaceTime or like a Zoom call, and then people started hitting me up saying, "Hey, that was cool what you did that live stream. Have you heard of this software?" It was actually David Alter. He'll never listen to this, but David Alter, and he said, "Hey, have you heard of StreamYard? This is like a cool platform." And then basically, like within a month, we had a producer, Casey Collins, because he was furloughed, and Kia, and then it was just this thing where I was like the showrunner essentially, like really pushing it. Like we got to do a good show today, and I would do like an hour of prep, and Brian and Kia were like, "Are you kidding me?" But we did the show, and it was really great, and
Yeah.
it was just a way. I mean, maybe 20, 30 people were watching, but it was a goof,
And
really.
during that time, during COVID, and we were locked in our houses. Some of
Yeah.
us. Like it was like something to keep our spirits up.
Well, and I'll tell you, the idea of we think about the butterfly effect and what changed. Me doing let's just do a live stream
Mhm.
that changed the complete trajectory of my career in theme park design with being confident to start because after I did the Yappy Hour, I said, "Oh, I need to do a theme park one," and I shot a tweet out or an X or whatever they call it now, and I said, "Who would want to do a show?" And then people wanted to see the show, and so we started live streaming that, and that then begot into the Big Break Foundation, which is a nonprofit that focuses on IDEA, which is inclusion, diversity,
That you
equity, and
created,
accessibility.
Another thing you created.
Another thing, so very entrepreneurial
So
minded, yeah.
the Big Break Foundation was to again help people get into the industry, right?
It is, yeah. Really, essentially, our industry. If you look at that photo of Walt Disney that we had earlier, that's just like entertainment. It's very white male dominated, and I was a little. There was a cries of what can we do to make a change, and so now we're using scientific based approach to do training for companies to become inclusive spaces, and for those that may have not had access before, do the outreach, and then also help people. And that's what I'm doing this week here in LA. Is we're working with an organization called the Themed Entertainment Association with Big Break Foundation, and I'm here shepherding 5 emerging professionals who otherwise wouldn't have been able to attend a big industry conference, which is really great.
Yeah, and then when you got your TETV channel, themed entertainment
Experience, but yes,
experience,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah,
Go
themed
watch
experience
those. You
TV.
got new episodes coming up, and then you took that opportunity to make a show about how you got into the industry and how to teach other people how to get into the industry.
Yeah, and I mean, we're I think we're well over 100 episodes on the entire network. Like I said, originally we had like six different shows that we're running. Now we're down to one that we do. It's our flagship show, and we're broadcasting live from the red carpet of like this big award show that's happening on Saturday, which is cool.
I feel something that's cool about your channel is like it just all your industry can kind of network there, and kind of
Hmm.
you guys can kind of get on streams together, or just make shows together and talk, and just because it's very inside baseball to some degree.
It really is.
Yeah.
No, well, it's the thing of the industry that this all kind of goes back to it. When I was trying to get in the industry in 2009, everything was like smoke and mirrors. And I said, let's broadcast this out. Let's make it accessible to anybody. If anybody out there is listening and like, oh, I want a job in the theme park, first off, just send me a LinkedIn message. I'll talk to you about how to get in the industry. And this is a huge reservoir of, over 100 episodes of people that are working in it. They're talking about projects. There are tons of companies that you can work for. And I don't care what your background is. Every single trade there is has to do with theme park design. I don't care what your job. Throw a job at me and I'll link it to theme parks.
A firefighter.
Yeah, there's firefighters at Walt Disney World. I mean,
Yeah. I
boom,
can tell
done.
you, like, and construction, obviously.
Done, yeah, of course, yeah.
Writing.
Writing, yep. That's what I do. I've done.
Because like I know people just in my life around Huntington Beach and Anaheim who just like they work at Disney just
Yeah.
as construction.
Of course, yeah.
Or so I mean, because the Disneyland employs thousands of people, tens of thousands of people.
Yeah, and so at the root of it is that I felt a kinship, and I'm kind of known in my industry for just being like this do-gooder of like, how can I help people? What can I do to break down these barriers? And that 2009 really left a scar on me for that of just like, so when 2020 happened with the COVID and everything shutting down, I just wanted to help. And it's interesting. I think you said something about having more time on my hands. I had a full-time job to running a network and then also volunteering with the theme. Like I was really busy, but now that we weren't driving to and fro from work every day, like I had extra time to do things and was firing on all cylinders. But I mean, in general, and I appreciate what you're doing here in this show is trying to inspire people, talking about interesting topics and game life changing.
Yeah, I'd say like for me, because I don't. I mean,
Do the little applause button for yourself there.
Let's see here.
Yeah, Brandon K. Brandon K. Round of applause for Brandon K.
You know, some of us have to just be inspired to get out of bed in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mental health, alcoholism, all that stuff. It's like a lot of people. Inspiration works on all levels.
Yeah.
But like even having a life purpose keeps you motivated to get up, get up in the morning, even if you're struggling with other stuff. And then like when you're talking about getting a job in the theme park industry, the same advice would apply to getting a job in any industry,
Yeah.
right? So like what's your advice to like inspire people to just go after their dreams in general?
So and I know we're gonna talk about dream building in a future episode, which is gonna be really great. So we get more on the why or the how. Right now, so here's my top 3 tips of anybody that's trying to get a job somewhere. Like LinkedIn is a tremendous tool for reaching out to people and making contacts with people who are already working in the industry that you're trying to be a part of. So people are so accessible these days, which is really, really, really amazing. And then the other thing I would say to people is maybe it's more of if they don't have an idea of where they want to go, that's okay too. Like that's okay. Not everybody has to have this definitive purpose.
Right.
It can be about, hey, so then try different things.
Yeah.
That's
advice.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, that you were talking, but no, that the advice is like try different things because like people feel lost and then they don't know which to take. Like especially nowadays, is like there's 1,000 different options. You kind of want to do 5 or 6 things.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but you have to try them, kind of go down the road, see if you enjoy it. Like you with your art college was like you said like I have trouble drafting.
Yeah.
And then, but then continue to try different avenues. Like even for me, it's like I wanted to be a musician, but it's like maybe I could be a podcaster.
Right. Well, and then the final thing I'll say about it is that the abilities to produce a podcast and the abilities to host a podcast are very different. And so you have to build up a network of people that are going to counterbalance and provide other skills. So being entrepreneurial, I'm definitely a creative producer of elements. And I bring things to the table that I need to bring others to the table to fulfill other needs.
Yeah.
But you're not going to do anything alone. So like if you're trying to be, let's say you have a very lofty goal of being an actor, you got to find people to produce stuff with. You got to go find who's filming, who's doing this, who's doing that. And while Hollywood is very, very competitive, when you think about theme parks, how many movies and TV shows there's hundreds a year.
Sure.
Hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And with Hulu, Netflix is streaming. How many theme parks are there?
But
not as many theme parks.
Very many big ones. There's kind of small ones scattered
Smaller
across
ones,
the country, one per state or 1 or 2 per state. And it's a small industry, and I know that in theme park industry, it's what do you call it? Like when you only work for periods of time, short periods.
Project based, very competitive and all that. Yeah. And like when you look at it, like more people have been on the moon than have been to outer space than have designed like a theme park.
Is that true? Is that a real number?
Depending on how you want to categorize that. Yeah, like been a creative director for like an e-ticket, like our friend Wyatt Winter. Yeah. The amount of people who've, creatively led a project, an award-winning project like that is so small. And so it's very competitive and very niche, but there's a lot of room for people, to come in. And so, but Brandon, I want to talk about inspiring you a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have a big desire to inspire you.
Okay.
And we've talked about this a little bit in the past on the CrossFit episode.
Yes.
But we have a burpee challenge going
Yeah,
on,
burpee
burpee squat
challenge.
challenge on right now.
Yeah.
Do you want to give the background on that and a little bit?
Oh, well, again, with this, my desire to inspire is I would do these 100-day challenges on my Instagram. And so I did one like for meditation. And then last October or so, I saw this girl, Vanessa, aka Dot V, doing burpees every day. And then I think she was adding one a day. And I started to do. I made a goal of doing 90 burpees in 90 days, and then additionally with all kinds of other stuff like take my supplements, eat right, be on my carnivore diet, and I lost a bunch of weight. I was staying committed, and I had a upward trajectory. And then at the end of December, my challenge was over. So then,
How'd that challenge go?
the challenge, like I lost a bunch of weight.
That's good. Yeah.
But the actually doing the burpees every
Yeah, it's
day
tough.
was tough because some days I'm working out, sometimes I'm literally lifting, and it's like I don't want to do burpees too, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I had now we're in March, and like the last 2 months have been less productive on the exercise, and then Patrick challenged me to continue the burpee challenge, and we're in the 20s ish.
Yeah. So what happened is I was kind of talking to Brandon, and look, I'm gonna be honest here.
Yeah.
You were kind of like, hey, sometimes I break them up. It'd be a struggle. I'm like, no, you just gotta do them all at once.
Yeah.
So I'd like Solomon to just roll a clip here if you want to,
yeah,
and
let's
hopefully
see
the
this.
audience can see this about our.
Clip.
I hope to inspire you.
Okay, I hope this is.
Hey, Brandon. Just got done with my walk, and you know how much I love gambling and my dog's butt. I'm throwing down the gauntlet. I'm throwing down the double. Jesus Christ, man.
Double.
Yo, Brandon, I'm throwing down the double down challenge, okay? So today we just started. I just got down from the walk. We just went live. We're doing 1 burpee, 1 air squat, all the way up to 100 of each a day for 100 days. Right now it is March 13th, or it will be March 13th when you see this video, and I'm throwing down the double down challenge. Every single morning when I've woken up, I've done this challenge in addition to our challenge. I'm calling it the double down challenge. You know how much I love Vegas and gambling, baby. So here's my gamble to you. We're 39 days in at this moment, if my math is correct. We're about almost halfway through. I want you to work your way up and join me. You don't have to like ramp up immediately, but work your way up to ramp up, where we do it in the morning when we first wake up, and then we'll do it together later in the day, okay? Doubling down. Let's go.
All right, well, that's
Oh, I hate burpees so much. That's one. Now do the air
at
squat.
least you've got your pants on.
Oh, yeah.
You got my pants on in that one. Brandon, I've been doing this twice a day.
Oh,
well,
yeah, it's a deep squat.
How is it feeling so far? Is it?
I hope
is
you
it
join me.
It feels like you're stronger.
I believe in you.
I believe in you.
I believe in you, buddy. I believe in you.
And
Let's get healthy. I believe in you.
for honesty's sake, like I'm like 10 days behind.
Yeah.
on the challenge. So I've been doing much less than the doubling of the down.
I've been doing these twice a day.
That's like
I thought I'd spring it on you.
Now
on
you're
this.
up to like 60 or something a day, right?
I am up to. Yeah. So this morning, I didn't do this. I mean, I didn't do this morning because I was on a flight. But I think this is day 36. So I've been doing. I've been
I
doing
love
this twice a day.
challenges. I'm inspired.
Like, I'm quitting.
But when it comes to burpees, like I got no love for these burpees.
So you asked me a question.
yeah,
And this is a big secret.
yeah.
So when I've been doing these twice a day, and it is challenging. I mean, when I recorded that video, I was like, okay, we're gonna do this, because I'm juggling kids and this and that and the other, and then if I go out and then it's like, okay, come home, but I think you can do it.
but you're losing
Doing
weight,
it.
right? Or you're getting in shape.
Yeah,
building
it's all those
muscle.
things. Yeah, I mean, here you can they can show the camera. I
That
don't
big
know.
old
I don't know if that looks like anything, but yeah, I'm doing it, and I think if I could do the double down challenge, you can do the double down challenge. which means you wake up in the morning, just wake up and do it.
I know I got to get in the habit.
A lot of excuses here. A lot of
I gotta get in the
excuses.
habit. No, you wake up and you just do it. And we were doing it where we were like the camera was on us, but yeah, you gotta just do them. You gotta wake up. And
Yeah. So I will just say I'm putting out the gauntlet, and it's kind of funny because I think maybe that'll inspire you.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing more makes it easier. And I have been dealing with like a little bit sometimes. Like sometimes when I had COVID, like I had COVID during this, and there were 2 days, so that math was a little off.
Dang man, you got over COVID that fast?
Yeah, I did it while I had COVID.
Yeah.
There were 2 days where I was just like, well, my wrist was actually the reason why because what happened? Well, that's a long story. What happened is there was one day where we were doing one of our bad improv things, and I did like 50 burpees in one session because I lost track of counting.
Yeah.
And then my wrist was a little hurting, and so I took a break. That's probably why. And then I just wanted to take 2 days break. I will say that what's interesting is what comes after the challenge. And maybe we could talk about that. But I think you can get on the wagon. If I can do it twice a day, I mean, I think you can do it.
All right. Well, I'm going to take you up on that.
1.5 a day.
And we're going to squeeze something in here at the end here, which is that I was also inspired by Patrick to do improv comedy.
Yeah, improv comedy. Yeah.
That could be a whole episode. But I started doing improv in 2011 with Patrick. We took a class together.
The OC Crazies.
And
if it were.
and Patrick went on to do more improv over there in Orlando. So, there's a segment on this show. It's bad improv, it's bad improv, it's bad improv. Or maybe it's good.
I think it's good.
So you got 3 options. You got an alphabet game, a question game, or a scene.
Let's do questions only.
We've played this game since we were teenagers.
Yeah.
Haven't we?
We have.
Oh,
haven't we? Don't you remember? No, I mean, what do we want to get just a word? Solomon, do you want to just give us a place you like to visit?
I knew you guys would involve me in this.
But at least I gave you a good prompt. It wasn't just like
my favorite part is Solomon doesn't even like to give us suggestions.
All right, I'm gonna get crazy. Portugal.
Oh boy.
Portugal. All right. And the questions only.
Okay.
Hi, welcome to the travel agency. How can I help you?
Am I in the right place?
Are you looking for a travel agency?
Is this the way to get to Portugal?
How would you like to get there?
Do you guys have airplanes?
What's an airplane again? That's a little, yeah.
You have never heard of an airplane?
Is it in this book?
Why wouldn't you have the one way that people get to Portugal from America?
Do you know how to fix their internet connection?
Why do you not know how to use an internet connection?
Can you hand me that mouse pad over there? Maybe it's the mouse.
The pink one?
Isn't it blue?
Did you want this in your hand?
How else would I hold it?
All right. Well, there you go. That's enough of the bad improv. I think
we're not even done. Okay, I'm just getting fired up.
No. So, thank you, Patrick. I want to say that you've inspired me today to do some really bad improv. And
love you, buddy.
And we got
this is my brother right here. This is my brother.
We got Giftiply.
Where's my camera?
We got
this is my brother. That's my brother.
Giftiply.com.
Yeah.
TV themed experience TV.
Yeah. Always happy to talk to anybody, and then just a big shout out to the podcast place here for such a great location. Yeah, and if you want to start, if we can inspire you to start your own podcast, check them out. Link, maybe you can put a link up, Solomon, of how to get in contact.
Oh yeah, I'll put it on the YouTube
and Instagram at Podcast Place.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I was interrupting your introduction. No. It's hard because I'm usually a host, so it's hard for me to be in.
So with that, I hope we inspired you here today to live your dreams. And Patrick will be back with us in the next couple weeks to talk more about all that we covered here. Thank you so much.